And here is Ron DeSantis. Is this guy going on television without being asked the same question, which is, why are you failing so poorly, so badly? Or I guess rephrase that. Why are you failing so well, but performing so badly? Go ahead.
Yeah, and you've done a great job pushing back against woke. We know that. But I'm wondering what's going on with your campaign. There was a lot of optimism about you running for president earlier in the year. But here's this weekend's headline.
Pause it. Just look at his face. No, go back just a little bit with his eyes. This guy's so mad because every single time he goes on these right-wing shows, he won't go on the woke shows.
Yeah.
He might get the woke mind virus.
He might get the woke mind virus. I mean, he's so pissed. All he's thinking is, I lost all this weight.
I know.
I got the Botox. I got my hair coiffed.
God damn it.
I'm literally pronouncing my name differently. And every time I go on one of these shows, it always ends with this. Why are you so bad at this?
Yeah, my accomplishments are just preface to why are you failing.
I'm super anti-woke, but I'm failing.
You know, before we continue, this is Brett Stevens. I assume in the Times, but any thoughts about DeSantis? Says, I guess my main takeaway is that DeSantis isn't going to be the next president. He makes Trump seem tolerant, Ted Cruz seem likable, Mitch McConnell seem moderate, Lauren Boebert seem mature, and Rick Santorum seem cool. Not what I would have expected out of the Florida governor 6 months ago, but here's where I confess, you were right about him and I was wrong, which you don't hear Brett Stevens say that.
Not at all.
Accountability.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything he's ever written on that one could not say that? But all right, put that aside. If you're watching, go back a little bit. If you're watching, just look at how angry DeSantis is. And the thing is, they tell you, smile.
Yeah.
Smile when you're getting shit on so that it looks like you don't care. And he can't even do that.
Yeah, and you've done a great job pushing back against woke. We know that. But I'm wondering what's going on with your campaign. There was a lot of optimism about you running for president earlier in the year. But here's this weekend's headline from the Politico playbook.
Look at his teeth.
Failure
Grinding his
to
teeth.
launch.
Yeah.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' campaign to
Now he's
topple
gonna-
Donald Trump has
Wow.
stalled. We are way behind, says a top DeSantis PAC
You remembered
official,
to
sounding
smile.
the alarm. What happened?
I love laughing at them.
He forgot to laugh. He forgot to smile, and he overcompensated to the
Get that laugh.
full on.
Let's go on the soundboard.
Can you imagine? Yes, we need that on the soundboard. I mean, you imagine, honestly, like, you're really doing poorly at this.
Maria.
Your whole career's going down in flames. Yeah.
We are way behind, says a top DeSantis PAC official, sounding the alarm. What happened?
Maria, these are
Okay, wait, we're going to pause because I realized what he did too. He laughs, but he realizes that he's not on camera. So he laughs again. Go back and listen to this carefully. You can hear him laugh when he's off camera, but he realizes he's off camera and he's got to be seen laughing. I mean, this guy is so bad at this. So bad at this. Wow.
Here's this weekend's headline from the Politico playbook.
Grind teeth,
Failure
grind
to
teeth.
launch.
Wait a second.
Florida
I'm
Governor
supposed to
Ron
laugh.
DeSantis' campaign to topple Donald Trump has stalled. We are way behind, says a top
Laughing.
DeSantis PAC
Laugh
official,
too.
sounding the alarm. What happened?
Laughter.
Maria, these are narratives. The media does not want me to be the nominee. I think that's very, very clear. Why? Because they know I'll beat Biden. But even more importantly, they know I will actually deliver on all these things. We will stop.
I mean, no, it's not the media, buddy. It's like literally people.
Yeah, they're just representative of the wider population.
Yeah, they're talking about how your polling numbers are bad. It's not the media saying it. It's the polling numbers.
It's the polling numbers and the media and the people.
Yeah.
And,
Voters are a type of media. If you
the
think about it.
voters, yeah. The right-wing media and the left-wing media and the nonpartisan media and the independent media and the, it's
Media consumers.
It's amazing.
I mean,
Oh, incidentally, Elon, this is your failure too.
yeah.
Right? I don't want to forget. I mean,
Helped launch his campaign audio-only format, right? He should have just done it on radio. That might have helped him, honestly, in like a Nixon kind of way. But like,
Nick's not a good voice.
Well, at least, right? But then you wouldn't have to look at Ron here. Another thing that we were correct about, I gotta say, like, we were a small victory lap on Twitter from the Majority Report account about when Roger Stone was floating RFK Jr. for VP. We were also saying this guy doesn't have the sauce, and it's just showing up. How many times do we do this in Republican primaries where there's a governor that gets all the hype because he does everything that Club for Growth wants, and like all the donors are clapping like seals, and then he has no popular appeal?
I mean, it is an easier guess with Republicans than with Democrats on some level, because there is such always a desire from the media to promote a Republican as being a normal guy. And I mean,
and the desire was way stronger even this cycle because of Trump, because they're so desperate to move on from him that it was like, this was more than coalescing behind Scott Walker or Jeb Bush or whatever, who had buzz and flamed out. This was like, the entire right-wing media apparatus put all their eggs in this basket, and I imagine a lot of donors too, because they think that he can be Trump without the baggage, and he's bad at this.
It's totally I mean, the Trump thing is definitely inflated, but if you look back and you think about like the people they did this with, it was Rudy Giuliani, who was a real sort of like right-winger, even in the context, I mean, particularly in the context of New York. But he got salvaged by 9/11 essentially, and he was just promoted as America's mayor. America rejected him so quickly. I was in New Hampshire in 2008, and honestly, like you had more people on any given corner holding a Ron Paul sign than people who would show up at Rudy Giuliani campaign functions in Manchester.
Yeah.
You look at Scott Walker. Again, here's a guy who came into Wisconsin, a traditionally progressive state, like just relentless on imposing anti-union laws and cutting back on their Badger care, which is like their sort of like Medicaid. And they were just convinced, like, this is what America wants. Installed right-wing judges, like, became like almost a laboratory for all this sort of anti-democratic stuff. This is what America wants.
Yeah.
And the conventional media is so desperate to prove that they're not liberal. And by liberal I mean in the pejorative sense, that they bend over backwards to sort of like normalize. I mean, that's why Bret Stephens is at the Times. Like, who does Bret Stephens represent in this country, like electorally? Like, I mean, if you want to put a conservative on there, go put Charlie Kirk on there, because the people who identify as a conservative, they listen to Charlie Kirk far more than they listen to anything that Bret Stephens has. That is just, you're just representing like some just sort of like business interests and some really just sort of the worst tendencies of the so-called like, sort of moderate liberals with a Bret Stephens. He's not representing like any type of conservatism. That not in the way that it exists in this thing. And so you always get like DeSantis. I think like the reason why he got even promoted more was because he was running as a more Trumpy Trump without the baggage.
But there was a behind the scenes understanding this guy will play ball. He went to Yale. I mean, like all these big money guys are behind him. He can come to a cocktail party.
But I don't
it's
think
all for
that
theater
was.
for the
I actually
plebes.
think it's actually like had he run as Nikki Haley or with any of these other supposed moderates who have all realized that they can't survive in the Republican Party. But there is this intense desire for like the national media, and it's a little bit less than it used to be, to say like, we get it. Mm-hmm. And therefore you have to sort of like, you can't refer to a DeSantis. I mean, how in the context of American politics, which has, is not terribly wide, how much further right could you get? Is there I mean, I guess maybe Abbott, but Like,
No.
who is more to the right? Maybe what's her face in Arkansas?
Or Kristi Noem in South Dakota.
Humphrey Sanders.
Maybe, but they're in competition with each other.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: it's a close race. And where would you ever see Ron DeSantis as referred to as a far right governor? Because within the context of American politics, maybe in the context of all politics, he's a far right governor.
Oh yeah.
But they will not there is no delineation. There is no delineation like that.